Hello there, my name is Mr. Wood. Welcome to this latest video all about Christian teachings about human sexuality. This is one of our videos in the playlist on Theme A, Relationships and Families for the RS GCSE for AQA. Our objective today is to understand three key aspects of sex for Christians. And what do you need to know today? You need to know that humans are sexual beings created by God, and that God gave sex as one of his good gifts for married couples to do two things: to bond them together and to give them the opportunity to bring new life into the world. Let's dive into today's learning. Little warning before we start. This topic, like many of the ones in the thematic studies, is controversial. There's some sensitive things we're going to talk about, and the views expressed today don't necessarily reflect my own views or those of the institution I work for. And just to also mention, this is an overview. This is a huge topic. You could write a series of books on this topic, and many have. So just know today we're scratching the surface. It's enough for your GCSE, but you might want to find out more after you've watched the video. So let's start at the beginning. When it comes to relationships and family and creation, we start with God. The Christian God is a triune God. He is Trinity. He is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. He is a relationship in who he is. And so it should be no surprise that relationships, that love, marriage, having children are all very, very important to God. And as we look through the Bible, we see the themes of love and marriage all the way through, starting with Adam and Eve, God's perfect archetypal couple who were made in his perfect world with him as creator, in perfect relationship with him, and that was his plan for creation, marriage, right at the start. And we see at the end of the Bible, in the book of Revelation, it talks of heaven being like a wedding banquet. Jesus talks about being a wedding banquet, and in heaven, in the book of Revelation, we get the idea of the church being the bride of Christ, being presented to Jesus in heaven. So this idea of love and marriage all the way through the Bible. So, three key aspects of sex for Christians. Number one is marriage, that sex for Christians should take place within the context of marriage. Also, that sex God gives as a special bond to bring two people together. That in marriage, through sex, men and women should be bonded together. They should be close emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and sex is one of the things that enables that to happen. And thirdly, the third key aspect of sex for Christians is that they are to be open to new life coming into the world. They should be ready to procreate, to be into reproduction. It doesn't mean that every single time that Christians have sex, they expect to have a child, but it means that they should be open to that because it's a key aspect of sex for them. Might be helpful to think about this as a triangle. That sex, for most Christians, they would agree that these three things should be present or should be key aspects. So we shouldn't take any of them away. If we took away marriage, it maybe wouldn't be wise for a man and a woman to have a special bond or bring children into the world without the stability of marriage, that public declaration of faith with the legal element to it. It wouldn't be right just to have a baby-making marriage with no special intimacy or bond. In the same time, it wouldn't be right to remove the option of procreation from sex, because that is one of God's plans for the world. The first instruction he gave to humanity was to be fruitful and increase in number. So all three aspects are very, very important. So let's pause here and look at some questions, have a go at these, and then when you're ready, push play and see if you got the answers correct. All right, let's look at some of these answers. So, why should we not be surprised that marriage, families, and sex are important to God? The Christian God is a relational God. He is Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And also the theme of marriage and love runs all the way through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. The three key aspects of sex for Christians are that it should take place in a marriage, that it creates a special bond, and that they are open through sex to procreation, to reproduction, to bringing new life into the world. Thinking about those aspects, some Christians disagree with sex before marriage, because marriage is said to be the correct place to have sex in the Bible, because it might not be wise to have a special bond with someone you're not going to stay with, and because you might not want to bring children into the world if you don't have that stable marriage relationship that offers them and you security. What about contraception? Well, some Christians disagree with it because they think you cannot remove the procreative nature from sex. It needs to be part of the whole package, that whole triangle, that with sex comes the openness to have children. Now, that extension there was for you to think about other ethical issues. And actually, I'm not going to talk about that now because that will be many of the themes of the videos that will follow this one in the playlist. So there we go. Let's revisit our need to know. You need to know today that humans are sexual beings, and God gave sex as one of his good gifts to married couples to bring them together and give them a special bond and enable them to bring new life into the world. Try the hand signal, guys. It will help you remember it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.